Hello, welcome to The Last Founder, the podcast that covered how to be a founder in the AI space. Here joining me, Alice and Ron. Alice, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm an investor and product leader specializing mostly in wellness and health tech.
Hey everyone, I'm an investor and a semi-active investor and an entrepreneur. I built Salo.com, which is a productivity bot, and I'm doing many things now, but trying to make them coalesce with and without AI.
I'm an entrepreneur and a founder, and I just like to create stuff. That's basically me. And in this day and age that you can create non-stop, it's the best time to do this podcast.
And this is basically why we're here, right? Like we're seeing the world changing so fast and new models coming out, frameworks of how we're working are changing. And it's something that we're super curious and we want to talk about it together. Especially, I wanted to talk today about how in the beginning we were mostly using prompts, and then there was a change into working more with agents. And we're now seeing also another change going more and more into autonomous systems. And I'm curious, did I miss anything on this chain?
Like, I would not call this autonomous right now. I think we're now more of the multi-agent era. Right, we're still not in the full automation, whatever that means, right? But right now, I see more and more people building multi-agents processes and collaborating together.
All kinds of agents working together in orchestration and also accessing different systems and
Exactly.
perhaps.
There are many different systems emerging now. I took a little peek at pay-per-click a while ago, and you can really define job descriptions in your organization and then actually hire for a marketplace, right? You describe what you want and you can hire an agent into a specific position.
I do think very soon we are going to see entire processes or workflows or systems doing things by themselves. I don't see really a reason why it shouldn't very soon, right? We're also talking about the tipping point, Sharon, you said it, and I loved it. Things are changing quickly. Yeah, so I do see the things becoming more automated with systems who are kind of organizing themselves.
Right. I think at the beginning we skipped of this podcast. We didn't really explain the name, the last founder, but basically the focus, at least as I see it, for us is to talk about how to build startups using this new technology and agents, and basically what the journey that founders are going through with this evolution of founders of existing companies, or the layoffs, and how new founders can emerge and just leverage this amazing tech to either create billion companies, unicorns, or just small businesses throughout the spectrum, right? So that's a big focus, at least of us. And I think it's it's an engine that's driving this economy.
Why the name The Last Founder?
And I also wanted to add to that yes, like startups being more autonomous, that it's much easier to create companies, but I also see the change here happening on more like a global level. So I'm very interested in the society level, like how we as a society, once this is happening, it affects many things, right? It affects our finances if we don't have so much jobs anymore, or maybe we work in a different way. And also something that I'm super interested about is like, we have this intelligence, we have so much potential to create and innovate. And like, as a society, what are we going to do with all of these resources? And who will decide what is being built? Perhaps there will be changes also in that way, in like how humans cooperate together and make decisions together.
Yeah, I think it's something that Sharon and me maybe can debate is this bill that was proposed. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago by Bernie Sanders, right? He proposed to give 50% of all the major AI companies to the public. We're both, I don't know where you are on this, Alice, but I think Sharon and me are generally both libertarian-ish.
Yeah.
Right? We do believe in like giving power to the individual rather than the state, and like the freedom to keep what you earn and what you work for. But I think I'm more economically left-leaning than Sharon, and I don't know the specifics of Bernie Sanders' proposal, but something in that would make sense in my world, right? Where like I don't know, I think that I don't know what is the right solution, right? But I think it's important to identify there is a problem, right? That the money is being concentrated and people are being laid off, and it's unsustainable that just like nobody will work and that won't have money to buy grain, right? If they do get some money either through UBI or some other measure, and I mean, for me, the gap, the economic inequality is not in itself a problem, right? It's okay to have inequality, and it has a price, but it's okay. But it is vital to ensure that the lower economic layers rise as well, right? Benefit as well from the revolution and not just lose their jobs.
You know something, like I have a different take on the subject. When I founded feedback. One of the founders there had like a saying, Pavel, you know him. He said, "Never send a man to do a machine job." I believe like everyone have a lot of value to give to the world, right? And the machines are amplifying what we are. And so the machine will do all the tasks that we don't need to do. And there's enough things to do in the world. I see endless things to do, right? I don't think humans are obsolete.
And I think another change that will happen, I talked about it with a friend today, that yes, we have endless things to do, but also I see it that probably we will start doing more and more like the things that we're happy about, that are in our creativity, right? Not like, shit, I need to go to work. Okay, I just need to do it to earn money. So it's more about what do we want to do, because we have the privilege now to make more and better choices of our time and energy.
For lots of years, I was like super optimistic on the AI revolution and the singularity. And actually, I didn't imagine it's going to happen so soon. Like I didn't know the timeline, but I was very bullish on that. And now I think after reading Yudakovsky's book recently, the book's title is it's something like if anyone builds it, everybody dies. So after reading the book, I feel like that we're the human species at a crossroad. And on one end, there's some version of utopia where people really do what fulfills them, and they don't do things they hate, and we have enough for everybody. There might still again be gaps, but there is even the lower levels, the lower population, economic population rises. So that's like one world, and there are the worlds where either AI kills everybody, or even if the AI doesn't kill everybody, then maybe it just like enriches 1,000 people, and then the rest are dead poor. So it's not clear which world on this spectrum we're heading to, and I think that we as a species can have an effect on that, can change that.
Yeah, it's not clear also because they are all existing. This is how I see it, as a potential of our future. And we can see all of them because basically we have the choice of like, which future do we want to create? And we can navigate ourselves and our society, because I see it not just as a personal decision. I do also see it as a collective decision that is becoming more and more collective, of like, in which world do we want to create and how do we want to get there? And yeah, working also on decision making. So hopefully working more efficiently together, using our resources better, and really also feeling that we're like in agency of our lives, which is not always the point at the moment, right? There is a lot of like feeling like the government is not really representing me, or like not fully in support of the organizations that are around me, their decisions, the way society operates. And I do hope that like more and more we can minimize this gap and really see that like, okay, we are the systems. Sharon, you had a really nice take about it. You talked about, how did you call it? Like that we're compressing the information to act as one. Do you remember? Yeah.
So from my perspective, right, I see humans as like like a super organism, like a one thing, right? And what this super organism does is transmitting information between itself. And AI, basically what it does is compressing the information package, right? Now I can easily date somebody in Germany that I can translate all the information that she transmit to me, right? And I be able better to communicate and connect to it. So in the system, in the level system, you can see that the AI is making the superorganism stronger by connecting the different parts of it. That's like one way that I see it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not just like a mathematical pure algorithm, right? It has different agendas, right? I just saw today or yesterday a post how somebody we talked about how AI is not just ChatGPT. You answer and you ask and it answers, but you let it loose on your code base, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one person used the DeepSeek version 4, the Chinese model, and he noted. I think he tested it. He created in his code base. He made statements about Tiananmen Square or like other statements that the Chinese government doesn't want, and the AI went and submitted pull requests to change that and to erase that from the code base, right?
That's so funny. Okay, but like I missed something. How is this related to what I'm saying? You're saying that there's like a different system that are in competition, right?
No, it's not just. I don't know. When I pick up the phone and dial and call you, usually we think it's that we are used to treat this as just a phone, right? Pure encode, decode, transmit, right?
Mm-hmm.
In AI, there is an opinion. It's an opinionated system. It's not just a pure transmission.
It has a name. Can I add? It has a name. Basically, what we're talking about, this problem, and it's a big topic called AI alignment. That AI, for example, lie to us, and also sometimes make decisions of its own, and not always like the incentive of technology of the system aligns with those of human beings.
Right. So it's a good segue to that problem. I think it's not. I think what we're talking about is maybe closely linked to that. I mean, there's one problem is the opinion or the interests of the people or the companies or states that are creating it, right? So like China can create models that observe Chinese regulation, right? And in this case, the AI was perfectly aligned. It did what
Yeah,
the
this
government
is
wanted.
a problem in the organizations of the humans, which is kind of like one thing, and then we also have the technology part.
Yes, the way I know the alignment problem is that somebody trains the model or builds the model, and the model doesn't comply with the values for the person who trained it, not just the user, but the person who built it. So basically, we don't know how to build systems, AI systems that comply with our values. And this is why it's like, again, I'm referring to Yudakovsky's book, which is a must read for anybody. His bottom line is if the things are going way too fast and we have to stop, otherwise we'll accidentally build a system that will kill everybody, because we have made almost zero progress on the alignment problem. And this is why Anthropic, I think this week, basically said our own models are becoming too strong. We have to get everybody to stop. Now they can't stop themselves. I see that as a like double race. I mean, they still have to move faster than any to increase their speed, because otherwise competing model, both economically competing and possibly militarily competing models can prevail. So they still have to move fast, but they're advocating to get a sort of a global consensus of everybody to halt all progress on AI. Otherwise, I mean, to avoid getting into that risky situation.
Do you think it's possible, Sharon, to get
No,
compliance? No,
I
tell
don't think.
me.
I don't think it's possible to stop it, because everybody interests are in place, right? And everybody is working on their best interest. When you look on how society works, you usually look at what their interest, and you can best bet that they will follow their interest. And there's too much competition going on. Like if let's say that Anthropic and DeepSeek and everybody will stop, right? What stops another opportunities to take this opportunity and like run with it? It's like nothing stops them.
So I think actually it's a very interesting topic. I'm attending tomorrow. I recently found this group called the BGI Nexus. They're like AGI, but BGI, beneficial or something.
Can I get credits?
All right, you sent it to us. I'm bad at remember correctly the dots. So I haven't attended, so I'm just meeting them tomorrow hopefully. But I think that Yudkowsky says basically it's a really, really big problem, and he doesn't know how to, or they actually, the two authors, they don't know how to make everybody stop, but it's still worth it to try because otherwise we're doomed. We did manage as a species to stop the missile crisis, the Cold War, where the US and the USSR were each building nuclear weapons, and they managed that if at a local area, a local point of view, each of them needed to improve. But if they managed to calculate, I guess, the mutually exclusive destruction, so I guess they reached the ceasefire there, or not.
And it might be a little bit different because like the resources needed to build missiles are much larger. Like the resources we need nowadays to build AI systems are getting smaller and smaller. So it's easier. Like there's more people on the market or like on the playing field, basically can do incredible things and also very destructive things.
Right.
One thing I want to say, why the last founder, right? Because I think this is the last time we see founders, right? And one of the things we talked about what how to stop it. And for the first answer is regulation, but it's impossible to regulate electrons, right? It's very easy to regulate atoms, right? Planes, gas, water. You can regulate the hell out of it. All atoms, government can regulate. It's very hard to regulate electrons. The European Union is trying to very hard, but it's like stopping their economy. And
all of these models run on hardware, right? They run on GPUs, they run on chips.
Yeah, but like the thing is, so I can go to, let's say in China and the United States, it's illegal to train AI models. I will go to another country, right? It's very hard to regulate in a global world because I don't need, like, even if you block my country, let's say I take in Zimbabwe, and in Zimbabwe I put in like facilities that train AI. I don't need anything to get it out from there. There's no way to stop me.
You know, this reminds me of when COVID struck a few years ago, and I was looking at, I don't know how much of it actually happened, but I was looking, okay, humanity maybe needs a common enemy or a common danger in order to unite, right? And it's quite impossible, like almost impossible when you think about it, right? All the relevant countries will agree, but if that's really the big threat, if it's really the biggest threat here, it might happen.
Yeah, let's talk about what we're gonna do in the podcast. Like one of the things I want to do in the podcast is I'm gonna want to interview and get on board and let founders that are willing to build in public their startup, right, and share it with us and our audience, because I think this is like the best thing we need to do in this climate that things are changing every day, right? It's very hard to be a founder because being a founder by itself is something very hard because you have all these balls are hanging in the air. Now the environment is changing. And you need somewhere to get trust, that you can trust the system that you use. And I think the best way is to learn from other people. And I want to bring here like wonderful entrepreneurs. One of them is Roy. I want to talk to him in a couple of days, and he's gonna share with us the startup. The startup is in agent, and the latest update from Google with Gemini totally destroyed his business model. And we're going to talk about that and to see what happened when things keep changing underneath you. And this is a good thing. And I think it's something that is important for everybody, because what's going on here is something that will happen to every business. Everything will be disrupted. It's very hard to find industry that will not be disrupted in the near future.
Yeah, this really sends me back, I don't know, a year and a half ago to when I was building Tradable AI. It's a productivity chatbot. And I won't say that like it failed, right? We worked on it for 4 years, and a year and a half ago, we went to make this bomb, basically, no new development. So I wrote a detailed retrospective post on why I think it failed, and mostly because I wasn't able to lead it correctly. But one specific thing about AI, I remember how we were building using AI system, and we were building not just scenarios when you ask the bot and it queries you, but rather the other way around. Right? When we could build, we called it habits, thread of habits, but it's like basically it's like agents, something you can configure that lives in the cloud and that can push information to you when it feels right. So we were building it, and then one day OpenAI released their feature tasks, and I remember, okay, the mammoths are getting into this, and then they're not just building models; they're building the entire ecosystem.
You know what happened to you there just happened to a million of entrepreneurs. For in the last 2 weeks, I think I saw the number was around $40 billion of investment went to the drain because of one update from Google.
What was the update?
So Google released a new update for Gemini, call it anti-gravity. So they did like a couple of big changes, and all these big changes basically let you build agents very easily with no knowledge. Don't need any knowledge at all. So every startup that was building an agentic system, a system that uses agents, right, just became like a service provider. I don't think it's open cloud killer by itself. I think it's more of it's like the place to the whole system to create agents. What we wanted to do with the co-founder CEO in the last podcast, and all the rest of the things that people wanted to do in the agentic world are now becoming something very easy to do. Like everybody can do it. And the whole layer behind it, right? All the people that were building like startups that are on that level, right, of automation. I found out a way to use AI to create this and this and that, right? Get a business model and then go to market, and all of it's done.
It's basically, all right, so they released this specific update now, but basically there is this whole SaaS-pocalypse going on for, I don't know, like half a year or more, where just people are creating new startups with a button click that mimic existing startups. And actually, it's a good segue to I'm meeting Od Lehavi, which has a startup, Inevitable AI Group. Their business model is they're going to copy existing startups using AI from the beginning, and then they're recruiting CEOs to run these many startups. And just like I saw that they're lowering cost, like one SaaS is costing like $1 a month subscription fee, something like that, just like lowering the cost everywhere.
Amazing. And by the way, it's called venture studio, I think. And I saw a lot of people doing venture studios. I think I saw like around 10 different venture studios like this, right? That are working in different model. And I think, and this is like a part of what maybe it's one of the direction that the market is going, because usually startups are getting acquired by a big company. Now a big company can just produce them by themselves. They have like this. Imagine that you have like a startup studio in each company, and they keep creating new innovation, right? Without going to the market.
I think it's interesting that what are we going to see the founders disappear? Right, the last founder. Are we actually going to see them disappear? I'm not sure. I mean, if we actually give, let's say, infinite power, but not more power to founders, but there is something about the founder type, right? The personality type that's unique. That's like employees of most companies aren't founder material, right?
So I want to connect you to our conversation around 10 years ago. Okay. And the first time we met. And the first time we met, you told me about your startup, right? And you were excited, and you wanted this thing to be alive, and I think you still want. And that's something that a corporation cannot copy. This passion, right? But I think the founder by himself, what it means today is going to change, right? And we're going to see the change going. Everybody's going to be a founder, right? Maybe.
And I also we're going to create more in groups like we are doing here together. Like it's happening simultaneously. This is how I see it. Like one person can create everything and be a solo founder and like have all the intelligence to create whatever he wants. And at the same time, like people potentially could wish and desire like to gather more in groups and create together and enjoy the company of one another in the creativity process.
Working with working with the AI agents and it gives you a lot of power, but you're still alone, right? You feel less alone because there's somebody talking back to you, but there is a difference between talking to a machine and talking to a person. And there's a difference in meaning, right? It's meaningful when a person depends on you, when you're accountable. But you can turn off an agent. I did. I turned off my agent 2 or 3 weeks ago because I was just too tired. I shut down the machine, and then when I come back to it when I'm ready, but I couldn't do that with a human.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I think we're not seeing foundering disappearing, but I don't know in the next 20 years what will happen. It's very hard to say. We're still keeping the point on it. And I think this is like one of the things on this podcast, like what we want to do here. So the world keeps changing all the time. We want to give people a place that they can share what they're doing, can learn from one another, and work together as a community. As I just said.
If someone wants to join and follow us, how can you do it?
Right now, you can go to our site, thelastfounder.com, and then you can see how to connect with us. And if somebody is a founder that wants to build something in this area right now, you can contact us and if you want to share what he's doing.
There is a lot of innovation right now, a lot of promise, lots of tools, and it's very exciting and very confusing and very frustrating. And then it's hard to, you learn one tool and another become obsolete the week after. So we want to come together, and we're not the teachers. We don't know anything. Everybody is learning this. So we want to come together, pick a project, pick some product that we actually want to build. We have a few options, but we can just come together and then pick a specific product that is interesting for us to build as a learning experiment. So we will build this product, but also maybe more importantly, we will learn all the latest AI tools. I played a bit with the co-founder and with OpenFlow and other, but we'll bring in whatever whatever expertise you have, and we'll see what fits. So we want to just come together, build these tools together as a group, and then maybe do a few more iterations of I want to build actual products, not just, okay, we work 2 days, we built a cool POC. No, I want to work together for a few months or however is needed, launch a product, and then maybe then add more.
It's like one thing that I want to do. It's like one channel that I want to do here is to bring entrepreneurs that doing it, right? Sharing what they're doing, right? And letting our community, people that listen to us, right? The opportunity to join in, to see they see it's an open project, right? If they have knowledge, but how to do it better and want to show us, right? So we can put them on our platform. I give you an example. We bring a founder. He speak about what he wants to do. He's doing something, and then somebody from our community says, "I want to create this agent for you guys." And we bring him on the podcast, and he shows us what he is doing, and everybody learns from it. I think everybody they can gain from it. That's the way I envision it. But we don't know what's gonna happen here. We're gonna see.
Yep.
Okay, so we see what happens until next time, and we'll be here to talk about it and share track and also vision.